Before we get started with today's video, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for more content. Wolfenstein New Order came out back in 2016 for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Windows. The game is about B.J. Blazkowicz in the year 1946, which takes place months before the events of New Order. In the game, B.J. Blazkowicz and his friend Wesley have to infiltrate Castle Wolfenstein in order to stop a woman from releasing the evil. But then a bunch of things start happening along the game, some funny moments, and so on. So in the first chapter, you end up disguised as a Nazi, and that's where everything takes place and stuff. But then there are some funny moments, like for example, when you make your way up here at the where you have to show your papers and stuff, you meet Jaeger and his dog Greta, and he talks in German saying hot dog.
Ja, ein hot dog.
Das war ein komischer Kauz. Die Spinnen, die armen Hotdog.
Pretty awkward, right? Well, anyway, in this part right here, you and Wesley end up, towards the end of the chapter, you and Wesley make it to a cable car. You travel down to the other side of the castle, and this is where I ended up getting my first trophy. So you get your first trophy for, called Undercover. So once I got the trophy, I was locked in, ready to go, and then I was just going through it pretty smoothly. So PSN profiles will show it as 12 hours to complete, but it took me around 40-50 hours because I was having a little trouble with the challenges, and I'll explain that later in the video. So yeah, right after before I got off the cable car, I ended up getting my first trophy called Undercover. And then this next part right here was actually awesome, and they feature this in the game where you have to go look for these beds, and then you start up a nightmare where you play in the old Wolfenstein 3D game, and it was absolutely a lot of fun. So in all 8 chapters you have to play that, and then you get a trophy for beating it. Some of the combat in this game was really awesome. I thought it was great. So I really did enjoy myself doing this part right here. And this time I had to defend myself while waiting on Wesley to arrive at my area and put down a ladder. I was having a little bit of trouble during this fight because there wasn't a whole lot of medical kits around, and I literally had to go out and open fire just to look for them. And so yeah, this one was a really fun fight. So what happens on here, like throughout each level, you have to look for collectibles. You have to look for gold. You have to look for, you don't have to look for Enigma codes in this game, but you do have to look for, I forget what that was. I think it's just gold. And, well, yeah. Well, anyway. So, throughout the game, you'll unlock challenges by completing certain actions. So, I'll explain what challenges are later, but it does have to do with the chapters. Some of them can be harder than others, but they are pretty fun, and they challenge how good you are with getting combos. So right when I was waiting on Wesley to drop down the ladder. Before I left, I wanted to get all the armor, weapons, ammo that I needed and stuff, and then make my way up that ladder and stuff like that. So, I just took my time on this part, did the fight, and then I climbed up the ladder. And that's where Wesley, I had to go through this vent with Wesley, and then there was Christoph right there with his dog, and a big super soldier that took me and him out, and we were put into a prison. Now in chapter 2 you do have to look for Wesley in here and stuff, so I ended up finding him later in the game. Then right when I did, I got my first perk, which was health upgrade 1, found my next bed, and then activated it, started doing the next Wolfenstein 3D level, and got my next trophy. So yeah, I was having fun with the game so far. And then next part right here was where I got another fight to do, and I found my next gold, where you have to collect 8 gold, and you get a trophy called All That Glitters. This part right here, I love the firefights with the turrets. I was having a lot of fun doing this, so I died several times on purpose because I love doing this fight. Especially if you're traveling on a boat and there's these enemies coming at you left and right, and then there was like drones and everything. So I was literally having fun doing this fight and stuff. I didn't want it to end, honestly, but yeah, I was just having fun blowing up things and shooting things, and just like every other game I've played in the past, this one was absolutely fun. So I just had to be careful with my health and my armor and stuff like that, because these guys were ready to kill. So I did everything I could and stuff to keep myself from getting killed, and unfortunately I was literally invincible. So I had fun during this fight anyway. This next part right here is where I got my next I think it was I found my next bed, and then I got done with it. Then I got my next trophy for chapter 3. And then that was pretty much it on that part. Then I activated the door, went to the next area, traveled on the boat. And for this part right here, I had to sneak through this area because there was a lot of people and stuff. And I had to be very careful on this part. So I got my next trophy, Vampire, for the next perk. And I discovered a secret area in the chapter, and this is where I found my next piece of gold. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I found my next gold piece, and then made my way through this gate, and then to the next area, which was through the door on right there. And then I had to jump all the way down through here. Found oh yeah, and then I got a trophy and stuff like that from coming in here into the secret area, and then also got a trophy for 15 gold. And then right after that, I just made my way to the next area. I had to use this switch and everything to open up doors to make my way to the next area, and yeah, I ended up getting my next armor upgrade perk. I got my first armor upgrade perk trophy. And then I had to do this fight right here, and I ended up getting another trophy for using this marksman rifle in getting a certain amount of kills with it. So you get a certain amount of kills with like different types of weapons, and then you unlock the perks and everything, and it also increases your weapons and stuff. And then the next one I got has to do with the AR, which was the which has to do with the magazine. And so yeah, I got the magazine upgrade for the AR for this one. And then on top of that, I ended up getting another trophy for headshots with the a weapon. And you do have to do that, but it really wasn't that hard. But I really did have fun. And oh yeah, and then I had to throw a knife at an enemy for Eagle Eye. So yeah, pretty worth it in my opinion. Found my next bed, and then I played the Wolfenstein 3D thing again and got that for this part right here for the next chapter. And then I had to be very quiet on this part until I got upstairs. There's a turret upstairs in this library I had to use. And then there was a couple of super soldiers I had to go. I eliminated my last enemy with the shotgun, and I got the next perk unlocked. And then this part right here was a pretty crazy fight. Enemies coming left and right of you, and you never know where they're going to come from, upstairs, downstairs, left, right. And then I earned another trophy where I got my next perk after this, where I had to throw a grenade over there, and it killed 3 enemies at once. And yeah, it was actually pretty good, pretty rare too. And I got the quick turn trophy. Then on this part, I wanted to show you guys the menu. So in other Wolfenstein games, this has the thing right here, the menu. If you push the touchpad, it shows your notes, your missions, your collectibles. You do have to collect all letters and gold in the game. The tutorials are self-explanatory. They will help you if you get lost and you don't know what to do and all that. And you can also it will also show the button combinations if you don't know how to do like a sprint slide or anything. And this right here is all your perks, and they are really easy to complete. So yeah, just take your time through it, and you really get the hang of it and stuff. So all of these perks, they are unlocked by performing a certain action, like stealth-wise, or headshot, or even weapons. So be sure that you do all of them, and then you'll get the trophy for completing them all. Just like every other Wolfenstein game and stuff. So yeah, it was a lot of fun doing all this. I had a really good time on this game. It was the easiest, but I thought the grind was a little high, but it really wasn't that bad. So anyway, I made my way to this next area in the library, and I had to I wanted to try to be sneaky as possible, because there was like, I don't know, there was like a lot of enemies in the area, and I wanted to be careful. But I ended up eliminating an enemy up the stairs and everything, and I unlocked my next trophy, which was the headshot one. So I got the next trophy, and which was reload smash, and I got it done. So that was a pretty fun trophy right there. And then I discovered Wesley. He was beaten up, tortured, and all that. And then as soon as I touched him, I got electrocuted, and there he was, and his dog was literally gnawing on Wesley. So he literally killed him and fed him to his dog, Greta. So that was really a bum move right there. Then afterwards, I had to do a really long firefight after that, and it was really hard. It took me several tries to get through it, but right after I did, it actually did feel good and everything to get it done. And then he puts a pole right through my leg. I mean, ouch. I mean, that must have really hurt right there. And then he says, no, Helen is going to take over and all that stuff. And, you know, he's BJ was wanting revenge on him for killing Wesley, and so right after I got the pole out of my leg and stuff, he stabbed him. He stabbed him, put him in the chair, and electrocuted him a little bit, and then he just runs, and that's where the firefight began. I killed his dog, and then right afterwards, that's where everything just, pushed up and everything. It was just a lot of fun doing this fight and all. I really had a great time with this fight. And this is where I'm going to show you guys an example right here. So right after I got out from the chair, I did a firefight, and I started going up the stairs instead of staying where I was, because the area, I would have been massacred, honestly. And that's the problem right there. I would have been massacred, and in that small room, and I was having a little trouble trying to get through each section without dying. I was even trying to kill enemies even when they were on top of like a little balcony area on the bottom floor. And then I got out my little mini grenade launcher, just started blasting enemies like crazy, and then just started shooting them by peeking out and stuff. And then I finally got through this, and I was actually pretty happy about that. And then I moved on to the next chapter. So there was big enemies. There was there was a couple of these enemies right here. I call them orange suits. They would have come in from time to time, and there would be more enemies coming around. So I did everything in my power to keep my health up as much as I can, and when I finally made it through the area, I was like my health was a little bit low, but I knew I could make it through without dying. And I was looking around, and there was a couple of enemies over there, so I decided to snipe them. And then I got up behind the wall, making sure that my health was going up and stuff. And then that's where everything was, getting a little bit easier. But I knew I had to find some health. All I found was some ammo and a couple of armor helmets and stuff like that. But I could not find any health for the life of me in this area, so I had to go to the next area just so that I can find more health and stuff. Now this part right here was the craziest fight. So right when I opened the door, I ended up blasting 2 enemies in one, and got the next perk for the little grenade launcher. Then I made my way to the next area, and I killed a super soldier, took its machine gun and stuff, and escaped Castle Wolfenstein and got a trophy called Freedom. This next part right here, I found the next bed, and it was located in Annette's house. So really quick, I wanted to get the gold piece and all that, and that's from collecting over 30 pieces right there. And then I made my way through this next level of the Castle Wolfenstein or Wolfenstein 3D game, and then I got the trophy for that, and it was actually a lot of fun. So I made my way to Annette and stuff, and she introduced me to Kessler, who is I don't know if she's related to him, a friend. I really don't know, honestly. But this part right here, after I met him, he wanted me to do this really long fight, and I ended up getting my health over 200, so I got the next perk from that. And then there were some enemies coming in through the windows, there were some outside, and I ended up getting my next perk, And so yeah, it was for the last health upgrade that I needed. And yeah, after I got done with that fight, I had to battle Jaeger, and I killed him, and BJ wanted revenge on him for Wesley's death. So yeah, this fight took me around 10 minutes because his armor was pretty thick, and I had to take off one piece at a time. So that was the problem with it. So after I ended up killing him, I had to escape the area before that exploded, and made my way into this next area. So right after me and Kessler wakes up, we make our way to a boat with Annette, and Annette, I think Annette either got shot or she broke her arm. But we made our way into into a cave area, and I got another trophy after that. So this next part right here, I ended up finding the last letter, and then made our way to the boat. So right after I made my way to the boat, got in with them. The button for some reason wasn't showing at first, but then I finally got in the boat, and yeah, made our way to the next area. Actually, I remember now, Annette actually got bitten by Jaeger's dog, so that's actually why she was injured. So yeah, that's what happened. So anyway, right after that, I ended up making my way to the dog, and Kessler and Annette gave me a headset and told me to stay in touch with them and stuff, so that's what I did. And I ended up getting a trophy called Revenge for defending Wesley's death, and of course killing Jaeger. So this part right here, I had to kill some enemies in this area. This was the craziest part right here. I was getting outnumbered by armor people. I was also getting shot by Nazis in every direction. They kept throwing grenades at me, and I finally got through it. Got the machine gun magazine upgrade and stuff, and then I found another bed which took me to the next level of Wolfenstein 3D, and got it finished in about 5 minutes. So next part, I meet Helen. So I disguise myself as a servant, infiltrate her area, and she discovers that I'm not really a servant. So that was her assistant there, Eberhardt. I'm going to talk about what happens to them later in the video, but in this part right here, they literally put a screwdriver through my hand. So I end up picking it out, and then I stab him, and I tried shooting them, but unfortunately the house started tearing down and stuff. But later in the game, you go up against these Nazi zombies, and in a way, it kind of gave me Call of Duty zombie vibes. But anyway, in Chapter 6, I only needed, I needed to find the rest of the gold and stuff that I needed. And there was these, like, Nazi zombies and stuff in here. And this was really awkward for a Wolfenstein game to have zombies and stuff, but, well, it is what it is, I guess. But anyway, I ended up making my way to the next area, and got all the health that I needed and stuff. And then I ended up getting my next perk right here when I threw a grenade in here, and I got the trophy called Grenade Belt. Then I got yet another trophy after beating the next Wolfenstein Wolfenstein 3D level, and this was a little picture of the Wolfenstein 3D, you know. But anyway, really cool Easter egg. So right after that, I activated the bed, made my way into the game, into the 3D game, and got the next trophy called Ruin's Nightmare. And then right afterwards, got the made my way and saved. I saved a net. And you do have to save both a net and Kessler, but you have to choose one or the other. So the first one I did save was a net. Then later I saved Kessler. So Kessler ends up dying, and I had to shoot him. So that's literally what happens in here. He turns into a zombie also. So very strange, but yeah. But anyway, I made my way to the next area after this, and yeah, that's Kessler's body right there. I ended up playing around and just shot him just in case, you know. You never know about zombies and everything. You never know if they're going to come back alive or not. And then I discovered how beautiful this environment looks. I mean, look at the color that that's in this level. I mean, the sky's nice, and everything's like orange, and well, you know, you get the point. But anyway, on the next part right here, I ended up finding yet another bed in the next part and next level, and I played it and made my way to the end. Of course, you do have to find the key first, and then you make your way to the end. So look up a guide if you don't know where the key is. It really does help. And then I got the next one, next trophy for that. And then this part, I had to fight some more zombies, as you guys know. And I had to be very cautious as well, because they can run up to you and stuff. And I got tough skin for hitting enemies with the pipe. And then on this part right here, I was eliminating all these zombies so that way I can make it to the last part. So I was able to make it to chapter 8, and the only way of doing that was getting into this robot here, and then getting close up to where the gate was, and then pushing square, and then I had to climb right over it and stuff by extending its arm to the gate, and then BJ just climbs right through, and then made it to chapter 8, which was the graveyard. So in chapter 8, this part right here, I was trying to be very sneaky through here, and you know, I really was trying to be sneaky in this chapter, but sometimes it's impossible. But I ended up finding my last letter. I know I mentioned earlier it was my last letter, but it really wasn't. This was my last letter. But anyway, this was the last Wolfenstein 3D level I had to do and stuff, and I got it done, and I earned 2 trophies from doing it. One was for completing the level, and the other one was completing all the Wolfenstein levels and stuff, which was, I really had a good time doing them and stuff as well. And then I made my way to this next area. This was kind of like being in Tomb Raider right here, where you have to activate a you know, you have to activate a lever or a switch and something happens and all that. Well, this part right here, after pushing a button, the floor starts flaming and a bunch of enemies come out, and I had to defend this area for a while until those stairs started going down one at a time. So I had to fight these enemies for at least 10 minutes, and my ammo was getting very low by the end, so I had to use whatever was necessary. I had plenty of grenades to use, and I got that part done. Then I made my way to the next area where I found my last piece of gold, got the trophy called Gold Master, and then for the last chapter where Helga and Shabert, I think that's how I pronounced it. I hope I pronounced that right, but she calls up, she has like this code and stuff that activates this like pedestal, and it calls up upon this monster, and so he awakens, and I end up getting free and everything, but I was chained up, and I was watching in horror as Helga was actually, no wait, his name was Shriner, whoops. Anyway, Helga met the monster. She was trying to calm it down and stuff like that, and he eventually ends up killing them both. And if you shoot, so I'm gonna talk to you guys about how to beat this fight. So with this monster right here, if you shoot at him, he will literally either smash his hand onto the ground in front of you, or he will take his fist and punch. So you got to be very careful when you're doing this fight. But using your mini grenade launcher and aiming for the inside of his mouth, that is his weak point. Then he'll grab it, put both of his hands on his head. There are 3 phases to this, so be sure to be careful. But be sure that to keep the enemies, make sure that you don't shoot the enemies. Be sure that the enemies shoot at you, and then he will kill them. So there went Shriner, there went Helga, and Helga was in the other room, and she's like critically injured, and she's dying. So after doing this fight, which took me around about 10 minutes, I finally got this monster down, and so this is what you got to do during this fight. So be sure that you grab all the grenades in the area. If anytime you shoot or anything, as I said, he will he will punch, or he will do that. So you gotta be sure to you gotta take your time through this, because doing 3 phases of this, you gotta be very careful of your health. You gotta be careful of how you do it. So when he starts bleeding on the 3rd phase, that's where you start taking your weapons, and then you aim for his mouth. So aim inside the mouth, you'll immediately defeat him. Then I made my way to Helga and picked up the document. She talks for a second, and then she'll end up just plain old dying, or you can choose to shoot her. The second time I ended up shooting her because I did Uber difficulty. So I picked up the document, and then I got 2 trophies from beating the game, which was one for beating the game on Death Incarnate mode, and the other one was for completing all the chapters in the game, or beating the game. So, yeah. This next part right here, I'm going to be talking about it. This is challenge mode. So there are 10 levels that you have to do in order to, get the trophies for them. So this part right here, the first level is pretty easy. You got to get a score. You got to get about either 11 or 14,800. something like that, and then you'll get the trophy for completing it. So the most important thing about these challenges is you got to keep your combos up. So headshots are really important, and as you guys can sort of see, I'm not aiming in on my shots. I'm doing my best by shooting them in the head. Be sure that you collect a lot of health, because these fights can take anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes, sometimes even 15 minutes if you take your time. So this part right here was a really fun fight. So starting off from the beginning of this fight, I wanted to show you guys how I did this. So after you do a combo, that's where your points go up. So right after they do go up, that's where you do more headshots. Your combo goes up. If there's multiple enemies and you get headshots on all of them, then it's multiple points and stuff. And so right at the end, I ended up getting a trophy for beating this level. And then I went all around collecting health and stuff, because I did not want to die through this. I died several times, making sure that my health was overcharged, eliminating enemies, and I ended up getting the score about maybe a little over 1,000 over, and I got the trophy for it. So yeah, be sure you guys to keep your combos up, do headshots only, use either one or two of the assault rifles. You can dual wield, or you can just use single, but most of the time I did do single. And then right at the end, I ended up getting the last enemy killed, and voila, I got the points that I needed and got it done. So 11,300, and you have to do each one of them on Death Incarnate mode. This part right here, I ended up saving Kessler, so I got the trophy for saving him. And right after that, I got the trophy for it. And so yeah, right after that, I ended up doing all the challenges. So the next part was the cable car. So my score I had to beat on it was a little bit over 29,000, 28 or 29,000. I beat it by over 100, and I got the prison dock part done. And then this part right here was the combat master one for the foyer. So I ended up getting the right amount of score, opened up the vents, and I got it done for this next trophy. And yeah, I made it over 2,000 points on that one. And then the next one, I got cable car. And then right after that, I also got the caves one done. And then also got the Paderborn bridge done. Other one I also got was Wolfsburg Square done. And also got Workshop done. And then the last one I had to do was the Graveyard. The Graveyard one was very tough. And this part right here was no joke either. So this one right here was a little bit hard because, well, there was a lot of zombies, but I did get the trophy for the bathhouse. And then for this next part, which was the last challenge I needed, I made it over 400 points, more than the target score, so that was pretty good. But I did mostly headshots in this one after killing all the enemies, and if they turned into zombies, I'd still shoot them in the head, and I got it done. So for this part right here, I needed the last perk, which was to overcharged my armor to over 200. So I made it to, I did the bathhouse part, and I ended up getting the armor upgrade trophy for that. And then I shot Helen right there, got the documents that I needed, got the trophies that I needed to get the platinum, which was Uber Hero, and then I got the platinum. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to my video. Be sure to like and subscribe for more coming videos, and I will see you next time on Red TV Plays. Have a great day, everybody.